Hey everyone, I'm back, and today we're going to be talking about Scream 2. And this movie is once again directed by Wes Craven, and it came out in 1997. And I personally felt as though this one was better than the first one. I don't know how many people agree with me on that one, but I liked it a bit better. And I think this movie does certain elements better than the first movie. But I think the first movie gets a couple things better than this movie does. Well, one element in particular that really stood out to me, but I'll get into that. And much like the first Scream movie, it's pretty much a parody of horror movies and tropes that come with them, and it just makes fun of them. And at the same time, it's also a horror movie, and it's not just a comedy where it's like, let's say you have a slasher movie like Halloween, and then over here you have Scary Movie, which is just a parody of horror movies. Scream is somewhere in the middle. It's both, and that's what I really like about it, is it's a parody while also being its own thing. And I take like jump scares as jokes, and they're pretty funny, and I like the comedy throughout the film. And the characters are really good. I like the characters a lot, and in this movie, we have Sydney, who is now a college student, and in the first movie, it was her in high school, and now she's in college. I forget how many years have passed, like 2, maybe 3 years have passed since the first movie. In this movie's timeline, this movie came out 1 year after the first movie, and I'm just trying to make that clear. And the horror elements I thought worked really well when it was trying to genuinely scare you. I thought they worked really well, and whereas the first movie, the horror elements was kind of lacking for me, and I wasn't really all that into it. It was more lighthearted, and it was just pretty much a comedy throughout the whole movie for me, and that's most of what I get out of it. And this movie, I definitely get that element out of it, but here it's trying to be more serious. And while there is comedy throughout, it's less often and more trying to scare you. I like that about the movie, and the movie is kind of similar to the first movie in terms of its structure, but it never felt distracting as though I was just watching a worse or better version of the first movie. Like, I wasn't exactly feeling as though, okay, been here, done that. It still felt as if I was watching something new. I was actually getting something out of it. And a little bit of history with Scream 2 that I had. I can't remember if I said this already, but for the first Scream movie, the first time I watched it, I actually hated it. I really found it annoying, and what it was going for was just super irritating to me, but now I really like it. And the main reason I got this was mostly for the second movie, and also to rewatch the first movie. And I haven't seen the third or fourth or fifth ones yet, but I mostly bought this for the second movie because the first time I watched it, and this is the second time I've seen Scream 2, sorry for making this a little difficult to follow and kind of out of order and broken, but the first time I watched Scream 2, I actually liked it. And this is the main reason why I wanted to revisit the series, is because I like the second one, and revisiting it definitely improved a lot for me, because now that I get what it's going for, and I like the comedy, and while there is like one scene that is a little bit annoying, or one element, it's like sequels, when they're talking about movie sequels being worse than the originals for the most part. I was like, that kind of got a little annoying. And it does have a purpose for sure. It's just that I could have done without that. And this movie is a little bit longer than the first movie, and it didn't need to be as long as it was. I never felt as though the pacing was stretched out or dragging. It did feel, though, as if that one element didn't need to be in the movie, or it could have been just toned down a little bit. And it's only like in the movie for like a few minutes, but that's just the one thing that felt as though it was unnecessary. And I wish that it was done differently. And my other kind of criticism with this movie would be that although the comedy really worked in the first movie, and that was the best part of the first movie, and the horror was the weakest element of the two things that the first movie was going for. In this movie, the horror is definitely bumped up and much scarier for me. The comedy, though, is less effective for me when it does work. It's just, I don't know what to say about it other than it's just my own personal experience and what I get out of it. And although the movie is going for something a little bit different than the first movie, I do wish that both of them were balanced and equaled out. As in, like, I love the comedy and I love the horror. Here, I thought the horror was the meat and the strong point of the movie, where the comedy was a little bit weaker for me. I like all of the characters that they bring back in this movie. They don't just bring back Sydney, they bring back just about anyone who survived in the first movie, and I like where they went, and the characters have arcs to them, and I thought it was an improvement over the first movie, and I enjoyed what it had to offer me. And it wasn't just like a movie where I was just laughing along with it and enjoying the comedy. And while I did enjoy the comedy overall, the horror was definitely really good. And that's what I'm going to remember this movie for. And that's about all I have to say about Scream 2. I love it. I'll definitely rewatch this multiple times, and I I don't know what else to say about it. It's great. I love it. And if you were not too huge on the first Scream and you are expecting more of a horror movie from the first one, I would say watch this one because it offers more. And there's a better chance that you'll like this one more. And there's definitely a lot of scenes that I liked, and there's plenty of scenes that I think that you will enjoy. So check this one out. And I think it works as a standalone film, even though I do feel as though watching the first one makes the experience of this one better. I do feel as though it works as a standalone film. Or at the very least, this movie has elements that work really well on its own. And with all that being said, I'm going to give Scream 2 an 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching my videos as always. If you enjoyed this review, be sure to leave a like and comment down below what you thought of Scream 2, and my social media links, they will all be in the description, so follow me there. And last but not least, subscribe to be a part of Foley Nation, and I'll see you when I get my next review up, and that is going to be for The Imitation Game. So look forward to that, but until I get that up, thank you for watching and have a great day.